how we get underneath the highway. Hello, it's September 23rd, day 66 on trail. We took our third zero of the hike yesterday in Truckee. We stayed in an Airbnb that a fellow hiker named Sniff was able to hook us up with. His parents actually rented it, we're in town. So we had a great time. We actually had, I think we had 5 hikers there. Sniff, myself, Evan, another hiker named Barefoot, and another hiker named Whiskey from Sweden. We stayed with his parents, had a great time in Truckee. Good food, there was a garage with ping pong and pool. Really enjoyed ourselves and relaxed. Back on trail today. The day prior to zero was a tough one, so it was good recovery. But we were really walking into some beautiful sections. Today, I get to return to a place I've been already for a second time on trail. So we're going to walk right through Palisades, Tahoe, or Squaw Valley, formerly Squaw Valley, the ski resort. We're going to walk right by one of my and our favorite slopes or areas at Palisades called Granite Chief that Mike, Tyler, Seth, and I skied a bunch last year when we came out here to the Tahoe area. So I'm excited for that. Tomorrow we're going to be walking through Desolation Wilderness around the rim of Lake Tahoe, which is a particularly beautiful section. So there's so much to look forward to. It's great weather now. No more, hopefully, for a little while, cold, wet rain. We've got warm temps and blue skies. Got a view of where we stayed last night down below. Getting up and doing some ridge walks already this morning. Looking ahead to Palisades. It'll be the second time I've been back to a place I've already been on trail. Just did a little side scramble up to the top of Tinker Knob here. It's not officially part of the PCT, but oh my goodness. Maybe the best 360-degree views of the trail so far. Probably since Old Snowy. Looking over the Tahoe, Palisades, there we go. Seeing some lifts. That's beautiful. This is probably the Silverado area, which we weren't able to ski last winter. It wasn't open. You can see Tahoe shimmering out in the distance. And the start of the Sierras with some snow caps still remaining even in the far distance. And there's even an awesome place to take a seat. That one got like 50 up likes. Just a ridiculous comment. Great view of the Granite Chief lift here for the Palisades crew from last winter. Top of the tram. This is awesome. Amazing to see this in the summer. It's crazy that this was all these boulders and rocks were mostly covered in enough snow to ski. Familiar views here in Tahoe. Here's our little side chute down to Granite Glades. So much good nostalgia. When I came to Tahoe last winter with Mike, Seth, Evan, and Tyler, we didn't have a chance to ski this portion of Palisades, but this is Meadows, which is owned by Palisades as well. So we didn't even get to see it, but this is, they look like they have some pretty epic terrain. If we come back in the future, which I hope to, we'll definitely have to check this place out. The PCT is now converging with the Tahoe Rim Trail, which goes, I think, about 180 miles around the perimeter of Tahoe. It'll be a really cool trip in the future. I know that Yogi, the hiker that I did a lot of the PCT together with, and our friend Monk, who hiked a couple 100 miles with us, came out and did some or all of the Tahoe Rim Trail after the Appalachian Trail.
Saturday, September 24th, day 67. Set my alarm for 5 a.m. Just thought I'd show a little bit of the general routine in the morning. So I wake up, I get some warm clothing on, roll up my sleeping pad, get things tucked away in my backpack here. I'll get my shoes on, my gaiters on to keep junk out of my shoes throughout the day. And all dressed up, I select my food. So I pulled all my food for the day already out of my food bag. I've got breakfast sitting here with the Belvita bar in the side pocket. And lots of other food tucked away in there. Food in my side pouches. I'll get some water shortly here. And now I'll begin tearing down my tent. And then once I pack that away, I start walking and eat my breakfast. It's all about efficiently getting in as many miles as possible. I do have a little thermometer on my pack here because you can never be entirely sure with just the one-line predictions, but this morning it's about 38 degrees. So I doubt that it got freezing overnight, although I did sleep with my water filter. If it freezes over the night and you aren't keeping your water filter warm, what can happen is the water molecules in the micropore filter can expand, and then it basically lends your filter useless because those spaces get larger and things can fit through them that aren't supposed to. All right, time to get walking.
So I had a goal when starting this hike. I'm trying to do it in 100 days or less. That's a long-term goal. Every day out here you need to set goals, smaller goals, and meet them. Whether it be how far you need to hike to the next water source in a given amount of time so you don't run out of water, how far you need to make it by the end of the day so that you don't run out of food before your next resupply. But all of those little goals contribute to your larger goal. That goal of 100 days is my individual goal. Thus far during the hike, I've been hiking with Evan since Canada. We've been hiking with other hikers, and we've had to set team goals day in and day out, which has been amazing and awesome, and I've had a great experience. But I also came out here to be able to practice setting and achieving my own goals. So I'm really considering during the last 1,000 miles of this hike, we have a little bit more than 1,000 miles left, but thereabouts, just hiking my own hike. So that's something that's said in the through hiking community. It's very difficult to do a long distance through hike without hiking your own hike. So one of my fears is that in hiking with others, my goals might fuse into their goals if I push too hard. And I don't want to do that. I want to let Evan, especially the other hikers included, do things their own way. So it would be really awesome to meet that 100-day goal. I think I might try it from here on out. It would give me a buffer of time when I get back before I start work. It would let me make Austin's birthday party. Give me a little bit of time to defuse and readjust, reacclimate to normalcy when I get back home to Pennsylvania. So I know I haven't talked a lot about my personal life during these videos because I've just kind of assumed that I was making them family and friends that knew, but for anyone else who doesn't know anything about my life outside of through hiking, I'm a new dentist. Just graduated dental school in 2021. And then I did a 1-year residency at a hospital in general dentistry. and I'm starting in private practice November 7th is the goal, which is part of the reason I really want to finish in 100 days. It gives me about a 2-week buffer time to get home, readjust, clean up, and those sorts of things. So, yes. Also, I hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2017. So, I kind of know what it takes to achieve long-term goals during a through hike. And that really honestly includes day in and day out commitment to short-term goals. You really have to be diligent, and it's much easier to do that by yourself than in a group. So we'll see, but these are my thoughts for now. So we're entering the Desolation Wilderness, which is a very famous and popular section of the trail. We're going through on a Saturday, so I expect to see a lot of weekenders and day hikers out as well, but it's supposed to be a really beautiful section. I think the highlight is a place called Lake Aloha. So I'll definitely try to get some views for you guys today. Doesn't get prettier than this. What an incredible landscape. Surrounded by sheer granite. This beautiful just doesn't capture it, but this is called Lake Aloha. Just nestled up in this high alpine granite basin. It's so beautiful. There's perfectly clear skies out today. Probably about 75 degrees, no wind. Stunning. It's like nature decided to do some bonsai training here. Not gonna lie, this water is freezing cold, but couldn't pass up a swim here. Okay. This one looks right out of Harry Potter. I like it. We're also in the spillway here at the head of Echo Lake. This is a really special place. Cabins along the shore, just beautiful and incredible, and everyone was so different. I'd love to come back here sometime. Maybe you can get an Airbnb. Good morning, it's day 68 on trail, September 25th, I believe. Yesterday was one of my favorite days on trail. We did about 34 miles, and walking through Desolation Wilderness was spectacular. The lakes and the sheer granite, so many color contrasts, such a crazy environment I've never seen before. Really enjoyed it. Took a nice break, little dip in the freezing cold Lake Aloha. Really enjoyed the day and got to see Echo Lake, which has the most amazing, odd, peculiar set of rustic, primitive cabins surrounding it. Some of them are they're all really neat. Some are very nice. Some are way more on the rustic side. Some of them reminded me of, for some reason, the burrow from Harry Potter, the Weasley's home. But it was a very, very nice day on trail. Today we're doing mid-30s again today. Probably about 33 to 36, not sure yet. There's a little information center for feature on trail called Carson Pass coming up this morning. And supposedly the volunteers that run it usually offer drinks and snacks to thru hikers. So excited for that. We're only a couple days out from Kennedy Meadows North, which is officially the start of the high Sierras. So we'll actually enter Yosemite the day out of Kennedy Meadows North. So as always, lots to look forward to. I got to start actually before dark this morning, hence the headlight. I was a little in the moment, had a great view down to Lake Tahoe and the shimmering lights of South Lake Tahoe, which is a city of 22,000 people. I don't know why I forgot to take video, but I did. So anyhow, try to get some good views for you guys today. Some of our last views of Lake Tahoe in the distance here. Passed it much quicker than I would have thought possible, but I guess it is only about 50 miles long. We're in the upper Truckee River Valley here at 8,300 feet. Obviously it's the end of long summer, so the streams are low, but I've seen some fishermen carrying fly rods going for brook trout. I like to go backcountry trout fishing, but this is a whole nother level of backcountry fishing that I've never done before. Someday. There's a summer cabin here right in the middle of this valley at 8,300 feet. It's called the Meadows Summer Cabin, built in 1880, it looks like. It's amazing that it's still standing. Built it right on the stream, probably to keep cool. Tin roof, clapboard siding, little barn. Really cool history. We're here at about 8,800 feet, descending down to Carson Pass, and we're getting our first view of a snow-covered peak in the Sierras. So that is Round Top Mountain and Deadwood Peak. Reminded me of the Cascades. I was very hopeful for this to be open. Apparently there's a trail log, and the volunteers that run this often provide some trail magic in the form of some cold drinks and snacks, but no luck. So I'm gonna eat my burrito that Sniff carried in when him and Barefoot hitched into South Lake Tahoe last night. So that's kind of nice in itself. Big mountains ahead. We're at about 8,700 feet here, and geographically we're right at the, I guess you would call it like the knee or the crux of California, where it bends a little bit to the east. There's an angle there, so this is actually a view north. You can see the whole way to Carson City and Reno, Nevada. So we're on that far eastern side of California, looking over into Nevada's mountains. So I know I've mentioned the term cold soaking before, so this is a little gross, but this is after 3 nights consecutively of using this Talenti sorbet container for cold soaking ramen. So the unfortunate part about this is that there's really no way to clean the pot out. Leave no trace principles that dictate, the rules of the backcountry say that you're not supposed to wash any food debris into a creek, which makes sense. So I reuse this, sometimes 3 or 4 nights consecutively before I have a chance to rinse it off when I get to town. But I put the ramen noodles in here, fill it up with water, give it about 15 minutes, and it's good to go. Other good things to cold soak are instant oatmeal. Takes a couple minutes. I can down the pack in a couple minutes. I'll usually eat, here's some of my trash from tonight. Usually eat some cheese, whether it be like string cheese or a Baby Bell, to boost my protein intake every evening. And then I'll also, this was a salmon packet. So usually I'll eat like a salmon or a tuna packet as well. Maybe some beef jerky for dinner. So I also snack pretty much all day long. So surprisingly enough, I checked my weight back when we took a 0 with Sniff and his parents at that Airbnb in Truckee. And I haven't lost any weight since I last checked in Southern Washington, which, considering my history of losing a ton of weight on the Appalachian Trail, I'm very, very happy about that. So, if anything, I actually gained a pound or so since Washington. So, whatever I'm doing on trail, I think I'm getting enough food, supplementing with a lot of food in town, of course, and more than halfway through. So I am very optimistic about that. That was one of my least favorite parts about, there's not that many things to criticize about through hiking, in my opinion. It's a great experience, but I didn't like losing that much weight last time. So happy about that. Morning. It's Monday, September 26th, day 69 of the hike. Last night we slept at Pennsylvania Creek, which I felt was quite fitting. Wouldn't want to miss that. We did about 33 and a half yesterday. Really nice views this morning. We're getting to what's considered a big landmark in this hike. That's Kennedy Meadows North, which is like the gateway to the Sierras proper. We have 38 miles left as of this morning. Part of me would like to push that 38 miles and get there and stay in their dorm for the night. But I have a package coming from Amazon that's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. That includes my puffy, so a different down jacket, and a pair of wind pants, which are really necessary pieces of gear for the high elevation of the Sierras. So there's really no need to push it today. We'll do a short day into Kennedy Meadows tomorrow, and depending on how long I have to wait for that package to get there, there's a possibility I might have to stay that night anyways. But it's one of the challenges of a through hike, managing the logistics, and the end is close enough now that I can kind of make reasonable guesses and calculations as to how fast I really should be going each day. And I know I need to keep the mileage up. So it is while we live in this great little bubble outside of reality out here for the couple months that we through hike, some of the normal stresses of daily life still get through. Time is always here. It's quite nice. Time doesn't hold as much pressure on you as it does outside through hiking experience. But as real life approaches again, those stressors sneak back in. But all in all, it's still freedom like I've never experienced before, which is why I felt drawn back to something like this. So anyhow, we're gonna do 30 miles today, so it's not like we're taking it too easy on ourselves. And then before we know it, we'll be in the high Sierras. It's another beautiful day. As peaceful as it gets. This is an odd sight out here in the middle of nowhere. At least it feels like the middle of nowhere, but I think we are close to a highway. Someone stuck a US flag at the top. Haven't seen that one yet. Sorry, I'm always documenting my pit tool experiences, but it must be said that this one is sparkling clean. One climb done for the day. About 1,200 feet. Looks like we're crossing into cattle country here. Gotta go through a fence. Cows can't get through it. Not always the biggest fan of these long descents. They're tough on the knees, but this one is particularly stunning. We're headed down into an extremely deep gorge, river valley here, only to head back up about 3,000 feet. The 3,000 feet will be broken up between tonight and tomorrow morning. This will be my first night sleeping over 10,000 feet since Peru, back a couple years ago, that is. Morning, it's September 27th, day 70 of the hike. Had a really great morning. Woke up and caught a sunrise from up here above 10,300 feet. We actually camped at 10,300 feet last night, so we wouldn't have to climb the whole way up here in the morning. Didn't sleep all that well. Don't know if it was the elevation or the wind, but we had a pretty sheltered spot, so the wind wasn't flapping the tent too badly. Maybe it was just the elevation. But anyhow, today we are going to Sonora Pass, which is, again, kind of considered the gateway to the Sierras proper. We get to enjoy carrying a bear can from today onwards. A bear can's required through much of the next 300 miles of trail. So within the next 2 days, actually, we'll be entering Yosemite National Park. The trail never descends into the valley. I'm not sure that you actually ever get a view down in the valley unless you take a shuttle, which I don't think is running anymore. But it stays in the backcountry, but nonetheless, I've heard it's very beautiful. So anyhow, we're going to Sonora Pass and then hitching into Kennedy Meadows, which is where my bear can's waiting, which I rented, and a puffy jacket because the nights are getting colder and mornings are getting colder, and we're going to be at much higher elevations. So an extra layer of insulation will help. Not sure when those things are getting there, so I have no idea how many miles I'll be doing today, or if I might have to end up staying the night at Kennedy Meadows. That's a possibility depending on when the Amazon package gets there. But this morning we only had 3.8 miles left to go to Sonora Pass. So looking forward to that. Should be able to get some food. We've been out on trail now for 140 miles without any pit stop in town. It was a pretty big stretch. So excited for a potential breakfast this morning. Maybe some bacon, eggs, and home fries.
First stick on trail.